what happened in One Piece March 2026. Motherfuckers, welcome back to the motherfucking channel. Today we are getting into a recap of the month of March for One Piece. A lot has happened this month in particular. This was a huge month. Okay, now what I like to do in these videos is give you a rundown of the manga, what's happening in the manga, the anime, and the news in the world of One Piece. So let's get into this. And let's start off with the manga. Now my first point is Franky is about to get a buff. Okay, it kind of happened, but it didn't, and it's gonna lead to something. Okay, because he's talking to Lilith and she wants to know why Franky only uses just regular soda. You know, there's other means to being, you know, getting Franky his, you know, strong left, strong rights and stuff. So she creates him a super soda and it gives him a buff, and I want to see more of this. Okay, Franky's getting a buff soon, look out for it. My second point is Killingham was racist towards Jinbei, and this causes Sanji, if you don't know, Killingham is a holy knight, and this causes Sanji to behead Killingham with a kick, of course, and hand the head to Jinbei or whatever, and it's very much satisfying and very much W Sanji. We love to see it. I love when our big three, you know, Zoro, Luffy, and Sanji, can really show their why they're called the big three. Love to see it. And my third point is Dory and Bragi are currently now not under the Domi Reversi effects, and they're actually helping Zoro defeat the other Domi Reversi giants. Zoro's plan worked. He hit them and made them attack each other. Their shadows got ripped out, so everything's going to plan right now. And my fourth point is Chopper seems to be able to stop the Domi Reversi effects, to the surprise of everyone, including us readers, because it's like, it makes you really think. Now with that being said, I have a video on Friday about the Straw Hats' next buff. So what do they need to continue in the One Piece story to live up to their already broken captain? We'll see. So go watch that Friday. And my fifth point is Usopp goes to try to help Brook, and at this point he's not scared, or, you know, like how Usopp usually is. He's pissed, calling Imu a coward and telling Imu to come fight for themselves, getting KO'd in the process. I mean, you know, it's Usopp, so this is Usopp versus the main villain of the story, but that's not the point here. Okay, Usopp is standing on business. Words are strong, okay? And he's using the fuck out of his words. Come fight with your own hands, though. Why is you Domi Reversi and all these giants, nigga? That's not what he said, but you know, you get the point. And this is what we need to see. Usopp has waited 20 plus years, our time at least, to get to Elbaf, okay? And he doesn't want it ruined by Imu or anybody else at this point. You know, he wants to enjoy his time with the warriors of Elbaf. And it's W Usopp at this point, okay? And my sixth point is Loki and Luffy are currently standing in front of Imu. And Imu says that this fight will divide the world. And it's cinematic. It's so cinematic. When this moment, the lead up to this moment in the anime is dropped, it's feeding generations. Fuck, I cannot wait. I can't wait. My seventh point is the three begin to clash, and Imu tries to use Domi Reversi on Luffy and Loki, but it doesn't work. Luffy and Loki attack Imu together, and this forces Imu to retreat back to Marijua. And my eighth point is we jump over to Robin and Yarul's group, and they notice that after Imu left, the books and the owl that was running the library here on Elbaf have all disappeared. What is going on? See, and I pointed out that this is reminding me of Dressrosa in a way, everything that's happening on Elbaf, because there's a lot happening. There's a lot of plots. You got Brook, Imu, Usopp right now, the library now. There's so many plots happening all at once that it feels chaotic. But I like that, okay? Because if you know me, you know I like dressrosa. So like this, it's fitting for me. I like it, okay? I like what's going on right now. It's kind of mysterious. And my 9th point is Imu Bakamariwa tells the 5 elders that he will be stepping out of Pangea Castle for a bit. And all I know is Elbaf is about to take a huge turn, and I'm here for whatever it is because I don't know what it is. But like I said in my Elbaf theory video, I kind of get into it a little bit, so go watch that once again. But I'm excited for what's about to happen next in Elbaf. So that's all the major plot points this month in the manga. So we're gonna move on to the anime now. And if you know you're a One Piece fan, the anime is currently still on break. But as I'm recording this, it's still on break. But as you're probably watching this, yeah, you should be watching this. The first episode should be out. So let me know what you think. If it's out right now, let me know what you think of the first episode. I'm excited. I cannot wait. I'm a One Piece stan, glazer, everything in between. Yeah. Now we're going to move on to the news section of this video of what happened in the news March 2026 in One Piece. And a lot has happened. That's why I said this was a huge month, because news was dropping every fucking day about One Piece. Let's get into it. And my first point is One Piece has become the highest selling comic book series of all time. 600 million copies sold around the world. That is insane. Breaking its tie with Superman as the, like I said, the most selling manga comic series of all time. Legendary status for One Piece. We love to see it. And my second point is, at the end of my February video, I said that the One Piece universe is planning on something huge that will happen worldwide. I predicted that it was a game. I really wish it was, but it's okay because it was the second worldwide One Piece character popularity poll has just dropped. So go vote for your favorite One Piece character. Online votes are worth 1 point. Postcard votes are worth 10 points. The top 100 will be named in August on the One Piece Day. I am a Luffy stan, so I voted for Luffy, okay? I'm also a stan of Zoro. I love Robin a lot, but Luffy will always be my number one. Hey, what can I say? So yeah, go vote. Now my third point is Oda does an SBS this month, and there was a lot. Okay, so I'll just read out the most interesting ones. Now this first SBS question is about Amazon Lily and the Empresses of Amazon Lily. Reader, Odachi, does the captain of the Kuja pirates always become the Empress of Amazon Lily? Oda, it's actually the other way around. There is a saying in Amazon Lily, in the country, strength is beauty. The strongest and the most beautiful person wins the throne as Empress. Simultaneously, they also serve as the captain of the Kuja pirates. With the story of Shakiyaku, who successfully escapes the celestial dragons, being depicted in this volume, I feel like we can start to see why Hancock and her sisters, who were candidates for the Empress position, were targeted and enslaved by someone. Not that it matters though. Reader, young Gloriosa was depicted wearing the same snake earrings as Hancock. Also, it seems Shakiyaku and Tritoma wore different accessories before becoming captain, but wore the snake earrings after. Is it a rule that the captains of the Kuja pirates wear those earrings through the generations? Oda, just like the previous question, being the Empress comes first, think of them as crowns. That is passed down to each princess after you step down. They're free to keep wearing them or take them off. I love that. So we get some insight on the Kuja pirates and Amazon Lily. It is kind of an interesting empire that they have there, so I like that. Oda confirms that the name of Rox's sword is Eclipse in this SBS, and that's dope. I think that's dope. Oda, when he's naming his swords, is on fire. Okay, I love that. And the next question is a Gecko Moria question, and we get Gecko Moria's background. Let's get into it. Reader, is the Kozuki Moria scene in the chapter of 1158 cover page actually Gecko Moria? I bet you received a mountain of questions about this, but please tell us, Odasachi. Oda, that's right. I actually wanted to reveal this during the Wano Country arc, but I couldn't find the right opening to fit it in based on the information I've given you all. So far, Moria was described like this. He once fought with Kaidou. After his entire crew was killed, he developed a personality that relies on others. He possessed the corpse of the legendary samurai Ryuma and the famous sword Shusui. From those points, you might have imagined he had been to Wano before. But what I really want to share is the reason for his fight against Kaidou. When Moria was a young boy, he drifted ashore in Wano. The people of the Ringo region took him in warmly because they cherished him and gave him the name Kozuki in honor of his strength. Moria, who had already set out to sea as a pirate, returned to fight Kaidou in an attempt to save the people of Wano. However, he was defeated. After his loss, Moria felt ashamed and he left Wano without saying a word. The people assumed he had died and built a grave for him. Since I cut this from the main story, it just a need to know bit of trivia. And I agree, because it was a bit confusing. I was thinking, okay, maybe Odin's dad did have another kid somehow, some way. But it was just so weird, like trying to piece it all together. So I'm glad we got that. But it would have added more to my Moria video that I just did, because I am currently ranking the warlords and Moria was the first one. But this kind of gives me a little bit more respect for Moria, but at the same time, I still feel the same way about him. He gave up, you know, and it's just, nah. And my fourth point in the SBSs is Shanks and Shamrock's mother's name was Magnolia. I think that's a gorgeous name, and she was probably really gorgeous. I want to see her like in color. Love to see that, so maybe one day we'll see it, but yeah. And my fifth point is Rox's ship was called Rox's Fury. It's very basic, but I mean, it's Rox. We fucking love and stan Rox over here. And my sixth point is Den Mushi lore. I love this. We need this. Reader, hello Oda Sensei. You've mentioned that Den Mushi don't mind being captured by humans because they get fed. Does that mean the Den Mushi kept by the Straw Hats get to eat delicious meals made by Sanji? I love to know what the details of how the crew takes care of their Den Mushi. Oda, right. Well, first of all, on the Sunny, there is a long distance Den Mushi. Additionally, 5 members, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, Robin, and Frankie, carry baby Den Mushi short distance, which they sometimes lend to each other. Basically, as long as they have water, Den Mushis can survive for about 3 months without food. However, since communicating via thought waves uses a lot of energy, it's best to give them some leftovers after use. They are let loose in places like Robin's flower bed or Nami's tangerine grove. On the upper deck of the Sunny, they are perfectly happy if you occasionally give them their favorites like cabbage or lettuce. Apparently, on days when they get sprinkled with water from a watering can, they can get so excited that their signal can reach all the way to the other side of the world. It's so funny to me that he just says apparently, like he's not the creator of all this shit. It's funny. It's funny to me. It's very interesting to me. I love the Den Mushis. I think they're so adorable to me personally. I don't know why either. But when I first seen the Den Mushis, when I first got into One Piece, I was like, what the fuck is going on? But overall, I think that this information is very solid. The world of One Piece is so fucking deep that there's lore about snails that people want to know about. It's nuts. And my seventh point about the SBSs is about Shanks and Shamrock, who met the 5 elders. Reader, Odasachi, hello. I've been wondering for a long time, was that hooded figure talking to the 5 elders during the levely about a certain pirate actually Shanks, or was it Shamrock? Also, does mermaid poop come from the front or the back? These fucking people. What? Oda, the back. I'm sorry. Yes, it was Shamrock. In the anime, it was actually voiced by Shanks' voice actor, Tsuchi Ikeda. I realized, I forgot to tell the anime staff that it's not Shanks, but later I met Shamrock's voice actor, Suda Kenjiro, and thought he's the one for Shamrock. Now I'm thinking it was a good idea I didn't rush to pick a voice actor back then. Okay, this is confirmation. It wasn't Shanks, it was Shamrock. We'd love to see it, but I mean, since Shamrock's introduction, we've been thinking that it wasn't Shanks, but also people were making theories about when this happened. That's not Shanks, he doesn't have the scars. So we kind of knew, but it's good to get this confirmation. And my 8th point in the SBSs is about Roger's Jolly Roger. Reader, in chapter 1156, Roger's ship has the mark, the mustache skull, but Roger himself hasn't grown a mustache yet. Why is that? Oda, that's right, those are udon noodles, you see. Laughs. That's udon, yeah, I got questions about that one. I got it a lot. You're right. I think 99% of the readers didn't care, but now 100% of you won't be able to unsee it. What should I do for the overseas fan and is long macaroni? Okay. And he's right. A lot of people that are just casual One Piece readers and watchers, they didn't give a fuck that Roger's Jolly Roger had a big ass mustache on it. They're just like, whatever. But people like me that really read into stuff, it's like, okay. Because I was thinking, maybe it's based after, you know, one of his like predecessors or whoever Roger was inspired by. That's what I was thinking, but the whole time it's just udon. Okay, and my next point in the SBS is about Shiki. Love Shiki. Let's get into it. Reader, to celebrate his appearance in the main story, please tell us things like his age and the grade of his swords. Oda, sure, the character Shiki appears in the movie Strong World. If you're interested, go check it out. Let's see what I can tell you. He is currently 73 years old. His swords, Oto and Korashigi, are both Ryu wa Zomanol. I'm sorry. Skillful grade. He likes gold leaf sushi and hates burdock root. He hails from the Yano country, a place that, like a rougher version of Wano country, his hobbies are notro comedy sketches and bonsai. Notes: Oto and Kagurashiki fall under the 50 skillful grade sword category. Since Oda said he is currently 73 years old, it is confirmation that Shiki is still alive. That was my biggest point in this whole Shiki SBS question, is he said currently. Shiki is still alive. I am a stan of Shiki. It's just this weird man with this fucking weird thing on his head, and he has a fucking weird ass Jamaican accent. How can you not stan, first of all, Loki? But also his devil fruit is fucking broken. When will he come into... I wonder if we'll see him in the story. You know, like, current in the story. I know he was on God Valley flashback, whatever. But I want to see him now. You know, I want to see what the fuck he's up to. And my 10th and final point in this SBS part of this video, I know it's been long, I'm sorry, it's about Gunko. Let's get into it. Reader, I want to be Gunko's slave. Oda, go right ahead. These people are too comfortable asking these weird questions, because there was other weird ones that I just didn't feel like necessary to read. I just wanted to end off on a funny, I guess funny, no, I don't know. These people are fucking weird, but yeah. Okay, SBS is done. Let's get back into the rest of the news. And my 4th point is Oda wrote down what the One Piece was and sunk it to the bottom of the ocean. This is insane. This was in celebration of hitting 600 million copies sold of One Piece around the world. And I haven't seen anybody say that they found it, but there's people actively looking for it. And I don't think that they'll find it, personally. But I mean, who knows? One Piece fans are fucking nuts. Now my 5th point is Oda leaves a message about the One Piece live action. Let's read. It's been about 2.5 years. I appreciate your patience. It's ready at last. The live action One Piece Season 2 on Netflix. I told you that world really exists, didn't I? But if you thought seeing a guy with a stretchy body was impressive, then you're a frog in a well. Surely you've heard the stories about ever more terrifying creatures and far more dangerous seas. Anyways, let's just play it safe. We can laugh it off as a bunch of made-up tales and wait, what? You're already hearing there? Are you mad? Well then, seems we may never meet again, but take care. I'll be wishing you good fortune. Off you go, into the Grand Line, and that's gorgeous. Oda he loves the live action, as do I, personally, I really do. And I love that Oda loves it, and he's a part of it, because if he wasn't a part of it, I don't think it would be as good as it is or as well received as it is. And now my 6th point is the live action drops. And this was on the 10th of March. Oh my god. I have a lot to say about it, but I already did a review of it. There's a 3-part review, or if you just want to watch it all in one go, there's a full video on my compilation channel. It's called Shanghai Productions. Go check it out. But for the sake of this video, I'll give you just a little statement, okay? I loved it. Personally, I loved it. From the sets to the cast, Netflix is really taking care of this baby really fucking well. And I think that they're just doing it in such a good way, because I mentioned this, but from episode 1 in season 1 to episode 8 in season 2, that's over 100 chapters of One Piece. It's insane, but it doesn't feel crammed at all. They're getting through it in a well-rounded way, and I can't wait for season 3. We're not gonna have to wait 2.5 years. They already started filming it, but what I really can't wait for is season 4. That would be Skypiea. Peak early One Piece for me. That's my favorite arc in pre-time skip era. It really is. Now my 7th point is a podcast dropped on Netflix about the One Piece live action. It gives us a closer look at the characters and the sets, and I feel even closer to it. You know, I enjoyed the One Piece live action, but to see how it really is made and all this other funky dunky stuff. And Oda also appears in an episode, so go check it out. It's really interesting. My 8th point is we get information about the One Piece. It's a One Piece remake that is coming out by Wit Studios, and here it is. George Wada says, the reason we decided to produce a remake of the One Piece anime comes from the reflection by the original author Eiichiro Oda. He pointed out that the work has become a very long and rich in detail. However, since it started a long time ago, the new generation, accustomed to modern production, does not necessarily feel the same excitement towards the older animation. He felt a certain regret about this and wanted a younger audience to be able to discover and follow the story. That motivated me to recreate the legendary story using modern techniques adapted in today's audience. The goal is to use modern animation technology to bring the work back to life and make it accessible to the new generation of fans worldwide. Our studio is not simply redrawing the panels. This remake will be dense and impactful without unnecessary padding. It will combine visual enjoyment, strong storytelling, and impeccable pacing. When it originally aired, the series was scheduled on Sunday mornings at 8 a.m., which is considered a time slot for children. At Wit Studio, we are proud to produce impactful works such as Attack on Titan, Spy X Family, and Vinland Saga. These are very distinctive creations. We want to approach One Piece with that same strength and level of quality, while fully respecting Toei and their remarkable work. The biggest challenge in creating work like One Piece lies in the immense size of the fan base, and they're surpassing their expectations. Over the years, fans have built their own vision of the story, and we want to create something that goes beyond that imagination. The most important thing to understand is what the original author Eiichiro Oda wants, and to find the best way to present what he wishes to show or express by working closely with him. We will achieve the final result. This work is very close to Oda's heart, and he knows it better than anyone. His vision will guide us. With Netflix, we now realize that our works are watched all over the world. We are no longer competing only in the Japanese market. We are competing with global giants like Hollywood and Disney. This makes me so happy for so many reasons. Okay, first I want to mention that bit at the end there. You know, not only are they competing in the Japanese market, but he said global giants like Disney and other, you know, animation studios and stuff like that. That's huge. I'm glad that they're seeing their worth nowadays. You know what I'm saying? That's beautiful. But secondly, I am on board with a One Piece remake. I think it would be great, not only for the story, but just for One Piece overall. It would really make the anime just feel a lot more digestible to people. Because personally, I love the anime. I love the early animation. It just feels very nostalgic, and I could simply watch it over and over again. But that's just me personally. Not everybody is like that. So it'll be good for the, you know, the next generations and stuff. So it seems to be coming along really well, and I can't wait for a release date and more, like, you know, visuals to see what it's gonna look like. I cannot wait. I hope it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be good, okay? So not only are we gonna have, you know, the original anime just out right now, the manga, the live action, a movie is in plans, I'm hearing, and also this remake. Oh my gosh. One Piece is a fucking titan, okay? The only thing we are missing right now currently is a great game. We really are, okay? I'm just gonna be real. And my next point is Gerd and Rhodes official One Piece anime elbaf designs. We get the coloring for them. They look great. I cannot wait till this anime fucking starts in a couple days. I just can't fucking wait. But we also get their voice actor reveals. Gerd will be voiced by Ayane Sakura, and Rhodes will be voiced by Roto Takasuchi. He cannot wait. I cannot wait. This is gonna be good. Okay, so this is me from the future. First of all, I filmed this video a week ago, and there's more news that has dropped in the month of March, so I'm gonna give you a little bit more. Sorry. First of all, the official One Piece account talks about the popularity poll that is going on right now, and there were bots. Somebody was trying to bot votes. Like, what the fuck is going on? Why are people so fucking weird? And we get the official elbaf first episode title, and it's called The Long-Awaited Elbaf, a huge reunion feast. I cannot fucking wait. It's gonna be so fucking peak. My next point is we get a actual trailer for the episode, or the elbaf itself, and there's some drops in here. We see Shanks, we see Blackbeard, you know, we see obviously the crew and stuff. This is like, what? My head is about to explode with how hype this shit is, dude. And my next point is we get a Heroines trailer, and it looks gorgeous. I don't even know how to explain how I feel about this, because it's so different from like One Piece, like the anime itself, but I'm like here for it. And when does it debut? Sometime this summer, June something, I think. And my next point is Loki's voice actor confirmed is Yuichi Nakamura, who played Gojo in Jujutsu Kaisen. I keep saying it, I'm fucking hyped. This elbaf is about to be god tier. Okay? God tier. And that ends the news section for the month of March in One Piece 2026. I want to know what you think about this month. What happened that's like stand out to you? What are you expecting next month? Let me know your thoughts. And I guess that's it. Make sure you like, subscribe. Bye, motherfuckers.